Hey there, this is going to be a different type of video. I received a question from a viewer, quite a lengthy question, and rather than writing a book in response, I'm just going to do a video. And if I need to provide like links or something, I'll do that in the description below, or any text. When I edit the video together, I'll intersperse that among the video clips. So I received this question from a young guy. I assume he's young because he asked about degrees and courses and whatnot, but about how to learn about trading. Now, just for the record, I don't trade professionally at all. I just trade as a supplement to my income, and it's something I enjoy doing. And a bit about my background: I was kind of a rather nerdy child and was always reading about different topics, including finance and stock market and stuff. And this was back, maybe I was a high school student, just starting high school in the mid 80s. Fast forward another 10 years, and I've been reading up on options and option pricing models, again, just because, nerd. And, in the Black-Scholes equation, there's the volatility term, which is a standard deviation of returns. And I figured, hey, you could calculate probabilities of stock being in a given range from this. And then, of course, I thought that this could hardly be an original thought, and that others must have kind of come to the same conclusion. And then poking around a little bit more, I came across Tastytrade, and that's really the where I learned the bulk of my option trading, knowledge. I knew the definition of a vertical spread or the definition of a call or put or whatever, but it was Tastytrade that kind of really taught me how to trade options. Now, this fellow says he's been reading books on like professional strategies. He mentions gamma scalping and things like that. Unless you're going to be a professional like a market maker or work for a market making firm, all that stuff is good. They're interesting and it's probably good to know about them, but I don't really know how useful they are because a lot of these professional type strategies are difficult to pull off for the retail trader. So I'm basically just going to talk about trading for yourself and not in a professional context, because professionally you might need specific degrees or a specific background that you're going to have to do your research and figure out what you need for those types of positions. Now, for yourself, if you're interested in options trading, as far as like math background, again, it depends on how deep you want to go. I think you should know some basic statistics, like basic high school level statistics, mean, standard deviation, normal distributions, that type of thing. It's probably a good idea to be versed in calculus. You don't have to be super deep, but you should really know what a derivative is. Because the Greeks are basically derivatives of the Black-Scholes model with respect to whatever variable you're interested in. Say, delta is the derivative of the option price with respect to the stock price. And of course, the deeper you go, the more advanced mathematics that you probably want to have. More higher level calculus, say Calc 3 semesters of calculus, and maybe a course on advanced calculus, differential equations. If you're going to be doing a lot of computer work, data analysis, modeling type things, you probably want to know a lot of linear algebra and become well versed in that. But I think that's only if you really want to do a lot of computer related things. And by computer related, I mean doing your own coding and such, not just like plugging a random formula into Excel. And as I kind of mentioned in the outset of this video, Tastytrade is an excellent resource. I haven't really had time to watch them in the last couple of years, and they've kind of evolved over time. But at least historically, I found them to be really good. I've learned a hell of a lot from them. They trade, kind of in real time. Tom and Tony, they trade on air, and you could either watch them live, you could watch the archive footage. There are Tastytrade shows kind of that are geared towards more beginner level traders or traders with less capital, because Tom has a very large amount of money, so he can get away with things that you or I really can't do. But again, there are shows like the Liz and Jenny show that's both geared more towards beginners and people with smaller accounts, say in the $50,000 to $100,000 range, as opposed to like many millions of dollars. And further, if you could afford it, just put $5,000 into a trading account and trade it. Now, you may well lose, you may not make money, especially with a small account. the better strategies you really can't access because everything has to be defined risk. But you're going to learn a hell of a lot trading that money. And I mean, hell, people spend $80,000 a year at colleges, universities for basket weaving degrees. I mean, you could spend $5,000, or you could blow the whole account, and you'll just learn a hell of a lot more than you would probably doing a lot of other types of activities. Not that I recommend losing your money, but I mean, if you do, at least consider it and consider it the cost of an education. He also asked about brokerages and trading platforms. I've traded on. I won't count E-Trade because it was back in the 90s where the technology really wasn't that good. So I'm kind of going to ignore that. So I traded with at the time Thinkorswim, which was purchased by TD Ameritrade, which was purchased by Charles Schwab. The Thinkorswim platform is really good. I've heard a little bit bad things about the kind of customer service after the acquisition by Schwab. Maybe that's just the transitional phase, who knows? But I haven't traded on Thinkorswim for a long time at this point. I traded on Interactive Brokers for a while. They were pretty good. They were cheap. They were, yeah, I had no major complaints. The major complaint was they changed margin requirements at the drop of a hat, which was kind of annoying. And currently I trade with Tastyworks, the guys at Tastytrade. A number of years ago, I started another brokerage. They're cheap, they're good. The technology is constantly evolving. So I kind of recommend that. Maybe I'll put a link down in the description to a where if you want an account, you can click on it and go from there. Yeah, I really don't know how to answer this question because my path through this has been kind of learning by doing, and just because I have a very mathematical background and I've been doing mathy stuff for 30 plus years at this point, that aspect of it came easy to me. Things to watch out for, start small and always stay small, but trade size is what gets you into trouble. Uh, so learn how you deal with losing positions. Learn how you deal with winning positions too, because there have been times where I've been trading and I've been on a roll, so I just kind of keep putting more and more on and kind of get overextended. And there have been, cases where, and overnight I've lost $30,000, $40,000. You're gonna have to learn how you deal with that type of stress when it happens to you, because sooner or later it is going to happen. Yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Until next time, see you later.